Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday evening community call. My name is Gregory Muscari. I'll be your host tonight. I want to thank you and everyone for taking time out of your busy lives to be here with us. We do these Monday evening community calls every Monday to share with you important news you can use to keep you up to date on important information, tips, and ideas. And sometimes we interview emerging field leaders and wonderful product stories. So you never quite know what you're going to hear. But many times what you're going to hear tonight's also reflected in our weekly newsletter, just appropriately named News You Can Use. So if you're not getting our Monday newsletters, please subscribe. You can go to liveyoungernewsletter.com and subscribe, and you'll get notices about these calls. Well, tonight, we've learned over the years that success does leave clues. And tonight we're going to share some clues with you by an emerging and successful businessman and new LifeWave community leader and manager. He's been with LifeWave a number of months. He's already hit the manager level, setting the pace and well on his way towards director. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you my new friend, Doug Corbett. So Doug, come on and join us.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Hi, Gregory.
Awesome, Doug. So good to have you on the call with us. And Doug, I know you've only been with LifeWave a short period of time. You do have some network marketing background, but you've got some really interesting business background also. You want to share us a little bit about your business background and when the pandemic hit, what happened to your conventional and successful business?
Sure. I think that's a good place to start as any. So I came in at the end of the year, just so to be clear. I started really January the 3rd. I got my first patches. Put some context there. So, but my background has been both in New York and now I live in Los Angeles, has been in the magazine business. So I, along with my business partner, we acquired LA Yoga Magazine about 10 years ago. And so the last decade, I've been publishing a magazine on yoga and wellness and spiritual practices every month, in and out, in and out, in and out. And really, we had the April-May issue ready to go to press, and overnight, all the about 1,000 yoga studios that distribute our magazine in Southern California had to close down due to the COVID, literally overnight. And so we didn't take that issue to press, and then we thought in the spring it was going to reopen again. The gym started to open, and the studios were going to be next, so we had an issue ready to go, and that didn't happen. Everything in California got shut down again. So long story short, this year we've had to really reinvent ourselves as a digital only company, newsletters, website, social media. And, just literally, we had some of that underway, but we really were a print magazine. It's 17 years in publication, but we owned it for about 10. So anyway, it was an interesting year for me on many levels. So, but they say, God closes a door and opens a window. So here we are.
And here's LifeWave. In through the window you came. And when you came through the LifeWave window, I think you were a little skeptical at first, but what was it that started building your belief to the place where it is now?
Well, thanks for bringing that, because I really was. I mean, as a business owner, I'm skeptical by nature because I have to protect our assets and our reputation. So I've grown to be more skeptical. I was not as a kid, but as an adult business person, I'm skeptical in general now and cautious, a little more cautious. I think really, well, first of all, I had a bad cycling accident. What led me to LifeWave was I had a cycling accident a few years ago. I was riding back from Palos Verdes on the bike path, which I ride all the time. And I was coming through an area where there were some people, and just out of the blue, this little toddler was facing away from the bike path, and he turned and bolted right in front of me. And I had to dive over the handlebars to avoid hitting this little 3 or 4 year old going pretty good clip on a bicycle. And so I flew over the handlebars, landed on my knee on the pavement, and drove all that weight up into my hip. And I broke my helmet. But a long story short, everything was fine. I rode home. I thought everything was fine. But over the years, it just got worse. It just got more and more jammed up to where I could no longer do yoga. So I stopped doing yoga, and I stopped walking, and all these things just got worse and worse. So I just was in horrific pain. Some days I just couldn't even walk. And so a friend of mine said, well, why don't you take these pain patches and explain to me a little bit what the ice wave was, and it would have the pain just magically go away. And I'm like, okay. Sure, it will. But anyway, I'm not a big, even though I'm in wellness and I study this for now 40, 50 years, I'm not a big supplement person. I am really a food and water kind of a guy. So I love the fact that the patches were non-transdermal. Nothing was going in my bloodstream. So, but I wasn't really interested in just taking away the pain, because sometimes that can lead to more damage. If you can't feel what you're doing when you have a serious injury, it can lead to more pain. So anyway, I started with the X39 because I wanted to heal it. I wanted to see what it would do. And so I started with X39, glutathione and Eon. And I started with that regimen for 30 days. I started to see some nice subtle shifts and other things aside from just my hip, but a little bit of changes in the hip. So then I added in the LifeWave. And when I put the LifeWave on, the pain went down. And I also noticed I could stretch again. So I started to stretch and move and unlock the energy between the X39 and the energy. It started to unblock things. So anyway, to get into the whole story, I could talk an hour on this story, but what happened was I got to the point where I could start to move again. And then I was able to go see a myofascial release person. And so that opened it up even further. And I think I'm 80% way there. I'm about ready to start some light jogging again with a natural stride. And it's pretty amazing. So that's kind of how I got into the patches first. So, and into the business. I was really interested in healing myself. And I have a brother that's an osteopath, and he has a small clinic up in Minneapolis. So I got him to test some patches, and he read a lot of the patents and did some of that work. And, we've both been really encouraged by the products. And so, with what's going on with my other business, I was open to other adventures and other things. And I've always been really passionate about helping people. I'm a life coach. I consult with people just for free. I help a lot of people with their careers. And so it was just, I love that aspect of network marketing and LifeWave. So I just started studying the business plan. I brought some people into the business, again, just to further sort of deepen my belief in the products. That it wasn't just me. So I brought some people that I really trusted, and I could just say, hey, try these and get in. And so I brought in, maybe 6 or 8 people, and they tried the product. So I'm starting to get the feedback loop. And yeah, so anyway, that's how I got into LifeWave. Yeah.
Sweet. It's a great story, Doug. And I'm so happy for your success. So, what excites you most about LifeWave and the future of LifeWave?
Well, I think, one of the things, as a business analyst, I looked at the business model. And first of all, I think that the business model is really fair. Anybody can make some money. And if you really work it, you can make a legitimate living doing it. It's not just for the people that are just lucky. I think in a lot of network marketing companies, I dabbled in a few over the years. It really was who got in first, who got really lucky bringing in a couple of people, but everybody else, it was really hard. And in LifeWave, because people respond so well to the patches and they reorder, I like that. First of all, you can't buy them anywhere else. Many other companies, their products, you buy some really great, not to pick on anyone, but some essential oils or something like that. You buy your oils and you use them and you love them, and you run out of one that you use more. Well, you just go to Whole Foods and buy that oil, or you get on the internet and you just buy one from some other company. You like their logo and you just buy their oil. With the patches, you can't do that. People have to come back to you, and they do come back. And that's really important, because the residual, that's what builds the residual income. So there was that, the exclusivity of it, the fairness of it. The other thing is because I'm in this world, I know people that are getting stem cell injections. I've been following that for a while. And as an athlete myself, I've known about this, but it's $10,000 to $25,000. It's just not available to the average person. I live in LA, and people here can fly to Mexico and have some tequila shots and to get some shots, and it's no big deal. But I don't want to build a business like that. I'm really interested in helping and working with everybody. And $100 a month for stem cells, right? I mean, it's
crazy. It's crazy. And I think about it because you mentioned essential oils, and we use them too. And we get them from all different places.
Right.
But there's 2 primary essential oil companies out there that people buy from once and they go and get it somewhere else the next time. And they're both billion-dollar companies.
Right.
They sell over $1 billion a year. and they have nothing exclusive. You know, they have
Right.
something really cool, but it's not exclusive. And we're totally unique, exciting, exclusive. You know, this is a networker's dream come true for me.
It truly is. I think, you know what, it's one of the other things that really sets it aside from that, that's a big difference between the nutrition and also, you know, I go to trade shows and I'm given free samples of pretty much anything I want in terms of superfoods and CBD oils, and I could try any of that stuff I want. But I like the patches and I like the projection of the company, right? I like that there's a 30-year plan. And I'm a big fan of Native American, you know, the Native American cultures and the seventh generation and all of that. And I think that LifeWave really has a long-term vision where I realize I'm putting 10 units of energy in for 1 unit back right now. And eventually that'll switch and you put 1 unit of energy in, you get 10 units back out. But that takes time. And I just, you know, after 15, 16 years, and then looking at, you know, talking with you and Robin and a few other people. So anyway, I trust that it's worth putting the time in, because I think the company will be here 20 years from now when I'm, you know, still going at it.
And what you're just talking about, you know, it's a time money chart. You know, in the beginning, you work real hard and it doesn't seem like you make a lot of money, but you're sowing seeds. And these are not grass seeds, these are tree seeds. You know, these are seeds that can grow really big.
Oak trees, yeah.
Sowing oak trees, if you keep sowing those seeds and watering them, we talk about the law of the farm, you know, pretty soon down the road, you're resting under the shade of your oak tree that keeps growing with or without you. And, you know, you know, I've been 32 years full time, and by God's grace, you know, I've done it a few times where I had substantial passive residual income, worked my tail off to get there, but then I walked the beaches once I did, you know, and we're on the way to doing it again here too.
Yes. Yeah. No, I have an expression. Well, our company is the Bliss Network that owns LA Yoga. And the brand that I built originally that we merged when we bought LA Yoga was Find Bliss. So I've been working with people on finding bliss. That's pretty much, you know, my life's work. But so I have this thing written on my whiteboard, Seeds of Bliss, building a solid financial future.
I love it.
Right. So I'm building seeds of bliss, and I want to bring it back around to that the sort of Zen mind, beginner's mind. One of the things I'm really trying to embrace and stay in this, that I don't know what I'm doing in LifeWave. I'm still new, because it's a fleeting space. So I'm on a lot of other calls. I'm joining other teams. I'm on calls. It's Saturday morning and Sunday night and Thursday night, all these different calls, just to soak up as much as I can and to see how other people are doing it. Because I mean, that's really what I'm building. I want to be part of a community like yours. I mean, I love the folks on your calls, the people like-minded, you know, they've got other things going on in their lives. They're successful. This is like an add-on for them. It's not a desperation in most cases. And I like being in that environment. So.
Well, you know, Robin and I, one of the greatest, you know, we say there's 2 doors that people come in to get in the business: is the product, the opportunity, but it's the community that keeps them in. And I know when we connected with you a few weeks ago, or 30 days ago, it was like, you know, brother from another mother, you know, and so welcome to the, you know, and you're part of our community. You're, you know, part of the LiveYounger community. And, you know, we're just so delighted to, you know, see you on our calls and start having this wonderful connection, be able to have you share with us here tonight.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's great to finally get a chance to talk and meet everybody. And I look forward to being on the calls. Did you have other specific questions, or do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, I was just curious if you had any tips that you wanted to share, you know, success tips. You know, success does leave clues, and you've been successful in many dimensions in your life. If you had a few you wanted to share, you know, with the folks tonight, that'd be cool.
Yes. Yeah. So some of the things I try to look, you know, what carries over from traditional business and just some philosophy. So I just, one of the things is that I've learned to, and from hiring a lot of salespeople over the years, that I don't motivate people, right? I find people that are motivated and I inspire them. So I think that's a critical distinction. When people that are interested in the business, not customers, I sell patches to everybody, but people that are really interested in the business, I try to interview them and really make sure this is a fit, so that they don't do 3 months or 5 months and do a nosedive. It doesn't serve anybody. So anyway, that was one thing. that I wanted to bring up. Also that, so I have a whiteboard, and this is from somebody else. You guys talk about this all the time, but I have a 4x4 whiteboard in my office that you can't avoid it. It's in the reflection in my monitor. I turn around, it's right there. And I put a grid on there with little fine black tape for 7 days of the week. And then I just do 3, 3, 1, which you all talk about. But I just know that if I do 3 new introductions a day, I follow up with 3 people, and I do 1 personal development training thing every single day, whether it's live, I try to do as much live as possible, or recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I know over time that I'll be ready to go. And it's like, that's all it takes. It doesn't take anything really more than that, is to show up and be consistent. And I love that expression. The race is not always to the swift, but to those who keep on running.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's kind of where the 3, 3, 1 comes in. You don't need to do 20 a day every day. It's literally like 3 people and they just fall in your lap. On another call, I'll talk about some of the folks that I've met just randomly. But it just falls in my lap. It's just such, because who isn't in pain or can't sleep or has a little bit of stress right now? I don't know anybody. So, yeah. And we've got a solution for that that's cost effective and easy. And so that was one thing. The other thing is, so I heard and I understood, because I've done a couple of binaries before in the past. So I understand how the binary works. I've built them, not really successfully. I always just dabbled, and I'm going to do this one differently. But so I knew I needed to get to manager. That, getting yourself to manager is really a big step. And that's really the beginning of your journey at LifeSpring in the business, at LifeWave in the business. But right away, as soon as I did that, I set my sights on matching level 3. And I wrote on my whiteboard right under my 3, 3, 1, I wrote the requirements to meet the matching level 3. Because I think, again, I want to work with people. I want to empower people and coach them and train them and have them be successful. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm looking to get people, because you can't get to matching level 3 without doing that. So anyway, that's sort of my goal. It's yes. And if you hit matching level 3, you're just going to become a director. So it's kind of a byproduct, and I think that'll be great. But I'm really more interested in the matching level 3, because, well, analyzing the business plan, you look, you could do 25, 20, and 20. It's 65%. You don't really need to go much deeper than that. If you're effective, you get 65% of everybody that works for you. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
It really is, and, so, and one of the things I love about this business model is, I'm sure you recognize, the only way you get where you're going to go is how people get where they want to go.
Right.
You can't do it on your own. It's a team sport.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah. And you have an amazing team. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. We love it. We love what we're doing. We do what we're loving. Yeah.
Yeah. It shows. And it shows. Yeah. Yep.
Well, Doug, it's so awesome to meet you. Any final comments you want to share?
I'm just looking, I made a couple of notes, and I have a lot of stuff on here. I just want to see if there was anything. Just, what, one last thing I just want to say is, when I bring people on as business people, I do what everybody else is doing, whatever. But one of the things that I do is, after they select their level and they do all the paperwork and they buy their products, I have them download the app. And while we're on the phone, I have them choose the 3-minute video, add themselves to the database, and then send themselves a text with the 3-minute video. Perfect. And I think and then I say, watch 15 seconds of it. So they click on it, they turn it on for 15 seconds, and I can hear it playing in the background. And then instantly they get a text alert. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So it leaves them empowered, like they're already successful, and they already know how the business works. And really, that if you send people the 3-minute video through the InTouch app, and then you follow up with them, that's really all you need to do to build the business. So,
it reminds me, I was talking to one of our other leaders, and he said, the most exciting thing that happens in this business is when your phone goes off and you got an alert that somebody's watching the video. Right. It's like, whoa, somebody's watching the video. Oh,
and it gives me a chance to talk to them about what it means, and also what it means if you don't get the alert, then you know how to approach the person, and you can say, hey, how did you like the video, or whatever, but you know that they didn't watch it. So the other thing is also if they watch the 3-minute and how quickly they watch the 3-minute, then I know I usually send the 20-minute of David talking in October.
Nice.
I happen to really like that because if they watch the first one and they're interested, I like them to watch the 20 minutes. So because that just saves me a boatload of time if they watch that 20-minute. So.
And I know some people use the 20 minutes, some people use the 18-minute, but what I've seen, anybody to watch the 3-minute video and either the 20 or the 18-minute,
Yep.
it's a done deal.
Yes.
They're just about ready, to buy or join.
Yep. And just try and get started. So,
yep.
So anyway, I hope that was helpful to somebody, and it's great to just be on and talk with you guys.
Very helpful. Such a blessing. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate all you had to share.
Thanks.
Okay, now we've got another one of our emerging field leaders who's got a product story to share, and it's success does leave clues with the products and with the business. So I'd like to introduce to you Anne-Marie Dixon. Anne-Marie, I'm going to make you a co-host so you can turn your camera on. So, okay, you are a co-host.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And if you want to turn your camera on, we can see you too.
There you go. I thought I turned it there.
It is. Anne-Marie. And this morning on our Monday morning product chat, which by the way, we do a product chat and 40, 50, 60 people get together and tell product stories. We inspire each other every Monday morning. You had such a wonderful story to share. And like yourself, I just went through some dental procedures and I threw the pain pills and the anti-inflammatories out the window pretty much. I threw them in a drawer. And you had even a better experience because you patched up before you went to the dentist.
I did. And I'm so glad I did. But incidentally, it was great to hear Doug's presentation tonight. That was awesome. It was so interesting. And thank you for inviting me. So I had an appointment last Friday for 4 crowns in one sitting at a dentist. And I should say I was just a little anxious about it. And so they talked me into 4 at one time and said it would be a little tough, but I could get through it. So I decided about an hour before the appointment to patch up. And I just kind of thought of what I maybe should do. I used some intuition and what knowledge I've gained. So I decided to put LifeWave behind each ear, like at the earlobe. So tan on the left, white on the right. And then I put an Eon over each of those. So I stacked them. And then I put an X39 on each of those, so I had 3 in each stack. And I thought, I still have to unblock chi and, keep everything flowing because I know that's the idea. So I put 2 energy enhancers on kidney 1 on the feet and 2 at lung 1 up, by the clavicle shoulder. And I walked in the dentist's office and I really was more calm than I thought I would be because probably of the patches. And so I sat in the chair and she came in, put her little tiny bit of whatever they do, topical, Novocaine, whatever on whatever it is. But anyway, then she got the big needle out and she said, take a deep breath. This is the most sensitive part of the mouth. So even if it hasn't hurt on other visits, this is probably going to hurt. Grin and bear it. Take a deep breath. I did. And she started this, the needle looked a foot long and she started this injection and I was just waiting to brace up for the pain. And she finished. I could see her pushing it all the way in. And she said, all right, that side's done. I didn't feel any of it. None of it. Had I not seen the needle and she not said, I'm injecting you, I wouldn't have even known. So then she goes to the other side because I had, unfortunately, 4 right in the middle, 2 middle and the 2 next to those. She got the big needle again, a foot long, and she started and she said, take a deep breath before she put the needle in. And I did. And I never felt anything the entire time. I couldn't believe it. She took the needle out and I was like, well, I was all braced up for the pain. I never felt it. So of course I went right there and said, look what I have on the back of my behind my ears. And it started a conversation. So I was thrilled, really. I couldn't believe it. And I didn't have pain when I came home. Usually you can't, I couldn't eat solids. I, drank my dinner through a straw, but because I was still numb a bit, but, no pain that night, slept fine. So I'm thrilled.
great.
And I didn't read about this. I made the protocol up. I just used common sense. I thought, well, if you put LifeWave on both sides here, and in here is where they're working, it's your jaw, it's your teeth, it must do something. And it sure did. So I'm very happy.
Really smart. That was really smart. And I think you're going to start a new wave. Everybody going to the dentist is going to come back and listen to this recording.
It was great. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Appreciate you sharing that with everybody here tonight.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, great. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again and see what's next in our little newsletter. And success does leave clues. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Anne-Marie. I wanted to point out that every Tuesday night, my beloved and yours too, Robin does a X39 intro and doctor call. And tomorrow night, it's going to be with Dr. Barbara. She's a chiropractor from the Colorado area, from Fort Collins area. And she loves. She's been using the LifeWave with her patients and in her practice for well over a year, almost year and a half. And she's always got gems and jewels to share. So then we're going to go on to Wednesday. And this is our week for LifeWave Connect. And each month, our director of sales, Emily Hollingshead, hosts various field leaders once a month. They do LifeWave Connect twice a month. Once it's product oriented, another time it's business oriented. And this Wednesday, it's going to be business oriented with one of our field leaders sharing business tips and strategies. So that's to look out for. And then this Friday, the second and fourth Friday of every month, Robin does our 30 minutes of wisdom. And this week, she's interviewing her dear friend, Ann Gillis. And Ann Gillis is the creator of a new line of psychology and philosophy called Easyosophy. And she's an easyosopist. And her philosophy is the art and science of living life with ease, or at least easier. So if you attend, be prepared for some great wisdom, inspiration, and lots of laughter. That'll be this coming Friday morning. Our Saturday morning distributor trainings this last weekend, Dr. Tom did a great job talking about step 3 in our proven plan of action, caring, follow up, and follow through. And this Saturday, we're going to drill down on some of the fine points and specifics in step 4, which is our proven plan of action of enrolling. So stay tuned for that. And Vibrant Living. One of the things we're going to do, our Vibrant Living contest is over. So we're not sharing the contest, but what we want to do is every week is showcase a story from the Vibrant Living website. So I'm real quickly going to bring up the Vibrant Living website here. And I wanted to share you this really great story from BJ Bronstead. It's only 1 minute and 37 seconds, but I want you to hear BJ's story. And this is one of the beauties of the Vibrant Living website. You can send your folks, your prospects there. They can get inspired by hearing and listening to and reading some of these stories, and then call you back to find out what's this all about.
Hey everybody, my name is BJ. I just want to share a story with you. So for the last 32 years, ever since the United States Marine Corps, I've been wearing a knee brace on my right knee. And I've got different ones, metal hinges, you name it. I've got some really fancy ones. And over the years, the meniscus has just worn down farther and farther and farther since the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps kept telling me, well, eventually you're going to need to have meniscus inserted in there because yours are gone. And then eventually they said, now the bone is so worn down, we're going to need to replace the top of the knee. And along the line, they suggested, one of the orthopedics suggested stem cell injection. And so it was about $12,000 is what they told me it cost, without any guarantees. So I went, there's got to be another way. Well, there is, and a friend of mine shared with me this affordable stem cell technology. Worked, and literally in 3 days, pain was gone. In 5 days, the knee brace is no longer needed. On top of that, positive side effect. I ride motorcycles at the time, and I crashed that, needed the shoulder to be repaired, rotator cuff. They said I'd never get my range of motion back, and like, you know, now I can do this on this side. I could never do that until I started using this affordable stem cell technology. So if you're looking, you got to give it a shot. I mean, $3.33 or less a day, it absolutely positively changed my life, and I know it'll change yours too. Take care.
Oh, beautiful. Now, can't you see sending some of your friends and prospects to listen to BJ and them calling you back saying, what did he do? What is this affordable stem cell technology? So Vibrant Living, if you haven't been there and started using it, I encourage you to do so. So we're just about ready for the wrap. Let's see what we have left in our newsletter. If there's anything left to touch on real quickly. Talked about Vibrant Living. We've talked a couple of weeks about this new sales sheet that you can use with your healthcare practitioner and the benefits of incorporating LifeWave into a healthcare practitioner's practice. We've pretty much gone through the weekly schedule. Wednesday, I didn't mention the Dr. Nicholas call. Happens every Wednesday, and that's great for guests and distributors. On Wednesday, Dr. Nicholas is there. So does a great training with Q&A. So that pretty much brings it to a wrap. And I want to encourage everyone, if you're brand new, to plug into our distributor training website, nittygritty101.com. If you haven't been there, go there. If you haven't been there lately, go there and go to what's new page on that. So I think that's about time to bring it to a wrap. I want to thank everybody for being part of this great community and opportunity, and wishing you all the best at LifeWave and life has to offer. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.